Well, hello there, all you spratly and saintly folk coming back. Welcome to hell. Otherwise known as the Disinformed podcast presents the Hogwarts School of Prayer and Miracles. I'm Shane.
I'm John.
I'm Michael.
And I'm Courtney.
We are elated to have you back, and as per usual, there is no preamble required other than to say, if you don't know who we are, we don't either. Don't feel shocked or dismayed.
Hello?
But if you're not caught up and this is your first foray into this glorious little podcast, you're diving in out of continuity. So like Serial, you should probably go back to the start. There is a playlist down in the show notes where you can also do something that Michael is really thrilled about. Michael, would you like to tell him about the fun prizes?
Well, if you like what we're doing, you can smash that like button and hit subscribe and ring that bell.
Courtney is pleased.
Michael doesn't ring my bell. I won't have it.
That's fair. Not without permission.
Not with that.
Not
answer.
ever.
Well, if permission isn't given, then not ever. And I'm Michael.
We appreciated having you here. I'm just going to kill this recording before it starts. No. So, catch up there.
I thought you were going to do it.
Slide through. Yeah. Just stop.
Just mute the rest of us. Just you the rest of the time. Do all the voices.
Just talk to
It
myself.
sound better because I'm not in it.
Thank you. So, this is chapter 9 for those playing the home game and trying to follow on their own script somewhere. It is possible. And so, go back through, check out all of the previous week's listings because there's a lot of nonsense that has occurred between the beginning and now. But first, we're going to start off with a little preamble. One, John has another introduction he would like to give, a caveat, as it were.
Indeed. So, since this is video, if whoever has done professional voice acting, been paid to voice act, raise your hand. Still counts. Yeah, we are not voice actors. That's not what we do. And we do cold reads. So we don't really know what's coming up next, except for Michael. But that doesn't really make a difference because he couldn't do an accent to save his life anyway. Yeah, I think
in his own words, he's blacked out, drunk on cocaine most of the time while he's transcribing this.
I've seen him.
Ooh-wee.
I've seen him. What? Just on camera alone, he's 2 beers deep, 2.5 maybe.
Oh. I mean, some
That's a
nights, yes, not
LaCroix.
tonight.
I think he's 2 bears deep is what we were trying to say. I'm sorry.
Grr.
Yes.
RAR XD.
And press F to show respect.
And I'm Michael.
All right, friends. For those of you who want to sync up with your script, you can go ahead and hit start in 3, 2, 1. Hello, friends. I apologize for how long it took to get this chapter out, but I was constipated. Sorry. I have good news. Starting tonight, I will be taking a beginning writer's course at the local community college.
But you're doing so well.
It's only up from here.
Through all the hate from evolutionists, feminists, and Romanists, there has been some legitimate criticism of my writing skills. My mother did her best, and she certainly did teach me a lot. But grammar was not her area of expertise, much like Michael. It has taken some convincing. The hubby wasn't sure I'd have time to get everything done if I started to take this class. But I've written up a schedule, and I think we can make it work.
Wow. Well, I'm glad that she gets permission.
Yes, to seek something from a degree-granting institution, which obviously this woman has never encountered before.
Well, as we've said before, Shane, being out of your box is a privilege, not a right.
Amen.
If it is a bento box, then yes, you are correct.
What is a bento box?
You can order one from Castle Boutique, okay? Ask your wife to fill you in. She's got the peg. She's willing.
It'll look good with your raccoon tail.
Thanks.
And we're now demonetized. Congratulations. Okay.
This program is made for kids.
Don't
Just
say
like
that. It's
Michael's
not.
genitals.
It's made for kids.
No, that's honestly how YouTube will put us in there. And no.
You need to sell merch. You have to monetize the small children. That's how you make it in YouTube.
That is true. Yes.
Hashtag
But-
opening.
And once you make that money, I have a sack you can store it in.
Well, now that we're completely off context.
Yes. Well, for those time traveling along with the rest of us, good luck trying to keep track of continuity now. All right. Here we go. Chapter 9. I didn't see if there was a subheading here. A letter at dinner. 1 week into the school year, Harry was gradually starting to get used to the everyday routines at Hogwarts School of Prayer and Miracles. Just had a stroke, sorry. There was breakfast in the Great Hall every morning. And then there was a prayer session led by the Reverend. The Slytherins went off to have their own prayer sessions in their own way. And the Hufflepuffs and the Ravenclaws prayed with the Gryffindors, but the Hufflepuffs complained about the Reverend quoting the Bible, and the Ravenclaws complained that the Reverend didn't seem to really hate sinners. He just hated sin. After the prayer session, the little ones all went to their classes. There were regular math and English classes, of course, although they were of a higher caliber than one would find in a public school.
Not hard.
And then there were Bible studies and Christian history, otherwise known as a crusade.
Yes, Bolt.
After that was lunch in the Great Hall. After lunch were more classes about American history and constitutional law and missionary training. One of these things is not like the others. After these classes was dinner in the Great Hall, after which the students had free time. It was just such a dinner that Harry was eating now. He was sitting with his new friends, Hermione, Ronald, and Dean Thomas.
This food certainly is delicious.
Harry observed gratefully, and he was savoring a bite of perfectly roasted chicken.
It really is.
Dean Thomas concurred intelligently. He was dressed. They were dressed quite
Blue
respectably.
chambray shirt.
For the sake of the book, we're gonna keep Dean Thomas as a man here, and because I would not dare to inject pronouns into this story.
It is a literary masterpiece.
Indeed, and I don't want to temper anything here. So, he was dressed quite respectably today, and he was wearing a button-up shirt and clean blue jeans, and his hair was neatly combed. I will say nothing about his chest hair, which means I am not sexually interested in him.
He is a child.
Eminently. Hermione nodded in agreement, and the yellow bow she had tied her hair back. All right. Occasionally, the grammar hurdles will throw themselves in my footfalls here, so. Hermione nodded in agreement, and the yellow bow she had tied her hair back with bounced up and down. Ronald grinned widely, but remained silent as he shoved another handful of deep-fried Brussels sprouts into his little mouth.
It's
Ronald-
eager little mouth.
Well, they are small and circular, so.
Goodness.
Ronald ate breakfast and lunch with his family, but he was eating more and more dinners with these Gryffindor friends of his. It never ceased to amaze him just how nice they were to him, even though he wore a different hat. A little unconditional friendship can really go a long way in a person's heart. It was then that a bunch of beautiful people with wings wearing It was then that a bunch of beautiful people with wings wearing glowing white robes swooped in through the great hall's huge windows. Yellow halos hovered over their heads, and they wore brown leather satchels around their shoulders. They gracefully reached into their satchels and gloriously flung envelopes down to the students below.
Angel mail.
The mail's here.
Dean Thomas observed accurately. And he shielded his eyes with his hands as he gazed up in wonder. Apparently, Dean hasn't been transmogrified over here in order to, be exposed to the heavenly wonders. Harry propped his chin up on his hand and dreamily watched these magnificent postmen distribute their wares. He did so love to look at the angels. He was surprised when a letter fluttered down to him, and it landed lightly on the table in front of him. He had never gotten a letter before. He smiled innocently at the angel who had delivered it, and the angel waved back.
Would you look at that?
Dean Thomas uttered fluently.
You got a letter, Harry.
With excited hands, Harry broke the seal and took out the parchment that was inside the envelope. He laid it out on the table and saw the familiar, slanting, tidy handwriting. Dear Harry. Sorry, I went to the other Hagrid voice. Dear Harry, how are you enjoying your first week at Hogwarts? I hope you're enjoying it a lot. How about you come over for tea this evening after dinner, and you can tell me all about it. Hagrid.
P.S. What sound does a pig make?
Squee! Harry smiled as he folded the letter and put it back in the envelope. Good old Hagrid.
What does it say, Harry?
Hermione questioned shyly, and she played with one of her smooth, lovely curls.
Hagrid wants me to come over for tea.
Hagrid wants to teabag me. Harry reported excitedly.
Would you all like to join me?
I'd love to.
Hermione replied sweetly.
That sounds like fun.
Dean Thomas responded eloquently.
Could I come?
You bet I'm coming down in May.
Ronald asked tentatively after he had swallowed his Brussels sprouts. Harry, Hermione, and Dean Thomas exchanged a knowing look, and then Harry answered kindly.
Of course you can.
Ronald smiled gratefully before going back to his Brussels sprouts. When dinner finished, Harry got to his feet, and then he declared boldly,
Let's go.
and that, dear friends, is another long-winded chapter.
Man, this Hagrid character might stir up trouble.
What did we accomplish here?
There's nothing.
A
Not much.
letter at dinner. Literally, the chapter title described it all.
And that took her how many weeks to write?
12.
A lot. And
Well,
she
it's-
needed to get writing help.
It really showed.
Well, remember, there are children with pneumonia to deal with here in the day-to-day, Mr. John. And she could be together with her children in the by and by.
She had to write it in her schedule.
And she had
also
to
have
get
to think of
permission
that.
from her husband,
Mhm.
He hasn't signed the slip yet.
lest we forget. There was a surprising lack of permission from Hermione in this chapter. She was speaking a
True.
lot out of turn without being spoken to.
Well, she probably raised her hand and then Harry gestured at her, but because she's still trying to get into the habit of handwriting, she isn't showing everything or telling us what's going on.
Letting us kind of pencil it in.
I was an apologist for the last fanfic, Shane. I have to be one for this one. It's hard, but I'm
Just
gonna
leave it at
try.
I mean, she was playing with her hair ever so coyly, so I mean,
That bouncy yellow bow.
that's
Hot damn.
carte blanche to get anything you want these days.
Unless we forget about Josie and the Angels.
Well, here's a bit of a taser. A taser.
A taser. Give us a
You're welcome.
taser.
Give me one of them tasers.
Here's a bit of a taser for all you later on. Chapter 10 is entitled Dangerous Days Are Here.
Which means before they were coming, but now they've arrived.
I mean, technically, it means they're going to insert a Blade Runner documentary into the middle of this story, and then we'll get back to it later
It would
on.
only make it infinitely more enjoyable.
I couldn't agree more.
Well, I can't believe we're already 9 deep.
Yeah.
It's also what she said.
This is a children's show.
Please stop saying
Yeah, there were 9 children. How many can you get in a phone booth? I don't know
I
about
like that
you.
this is a visual platform, so you can see Michael panic every time. Every time.
Listen, if you butter them up nice, you can get so many children in that booth.
There's already one in the booth with him right now.
Mm-hmm. That's why he's
Yeah,
making
he
that
quit.
face. Yes.
Kill me.
Well, I
Send
think
me.
that's enough of our spiritual giftings for y'all this week. Guaranteed. But we appreciate you all being here. Thank you for tuning in. And please continue to come back because I guarantee this story is going to get just more and more riveting on an exponential basis, week by week.
Right.
True that.
And we only have 87 more chapters to go.
What?
This rate.
No.
No.
You didn't realize you were going to be indentured to us for the next 20 years?
I already am married.
Well,
Don't tell her that there's no pay involved.
I'm going to learn today.
Oof. Bigger oof.
Well, let's stop talking about our oofs and get this thing over with. So, for all of us here, please continue to come back every single wonderful Wednesday morning, and we will help to share the light of the Lord with y'all. And we hope that you enjoy it as much as we do. So, for Disinformed performing their funky fan fiction, I'm Shane.
I'm down.
I'm Michael.
I speak when I'm spoken to. Courtney.
Good girl.
Our thoughts and prayers go out to all of you out there.